Hey friends, today we're going to talk about multiplying fractions. I need you to make sure that you write down this as your title, Multiplying Fractions. Okay, so to multiply fractions or mixed numbers, simplify the problem, then multiply the numerators and multiply the denominators. Okay, so simplifying can come in many forms. In this case, if you look at this 10/20ths, it's not simplified. So we can first simplify this fraction to be 1/2. That makes our lives a lot easier. 1 times 1 is 1 and 5 times 2 is 10. Do you notice that then it's already simplified for me? We're following these directions, so make sure that you do so every single time and you'll understand it perfectly. Okay, so why does this work? Well, when you multiply the numerators, 1 times 10, you would get 10. When you multiply 5 times 20, you would have gotten 100. And we know that 10 goes into itself 1 time and goes into 100 10 times. So it's like taking that step of simplifying away, especially when you're working with numbers that maybe aren't as easy to multiply, like 20 times 9, or maybe even like something crazier. Okay, so in this case, 7/20ths can't be simplified and 5/9ths can't be simplified. But when we're looking at these, if you notice that if I were multiplying 7 times 5 and 20 times 9, that would be pretty complex. So we can also simplify cross from one another. Anything in the numerator can be simplified with anything in the denominator. So 7 and 9 can't be simplified, but 5 and 20 can. So 5 divided by 5 is 1, and 20 divided by 5 is 4. That makes my life a little bit easier now because 7 times 1 is 7 and 4 times 9 is 36. So I'm finished. It's already simplified. Down here I have 1/2 times 2/4. If I look at this one, 1/2 is simplified but 2/4 is not. I can simplify the 2 and the 4 and get 1/2. Now that I have 1's all in my numerators, I really can't simplify any further. Even across is not going to work. So 1 times 1 is 1, and 2 times 2 is 4, so I'm left with 1/4. Whoa, Nelly, look at this. We've got 3 going on here. So take it and pretend like this isn't there at first. Look to see what you can simplify, and if you can't, then move on. So 9/5 can't be simplified. 7/4 can't be simplified. 9 and 4, 7 and 5, still no luck. Okay, what about a 2? Can 2 be simplified with the 7 or the 9? No, and 1 can't either. So really, there's nothing that we can simplify in this whole problem. So all that's left to do is multiply individually. 9 times 7 is 63. That's in our numerator. 5 times 4 is 20. Times 2 is 40. This is what we call an improper fraction. So let's break it down. 40 can go into 63 one time. So I have 40/40 plus 23/40. Do you see that? I'm breaking this 63 down. So this is a whole, and this is my part still. So I have 23/40ths, and that can't be simplified. So I'm finished. All right, you try these for me. I'll be back in just a second to show you the answers. Make sure that you try all the steps and try your best. All right, get out your red pen or something to check your work with, okay? Make sure that you are marking everything as we go so that way you can practice further. Okay, if we look at 2/16, you know that that is not simplified. So 2 goes into 16 8 times and it goes into itself once. 2/10, still not simplified. 2 goes into itself once, goes into 10 5 times. Okay, since our numerators are all 1, we're done. So 1 on top, 8 times 5 is 40, so I'm left with 1/40. Over here, 1/2 simplified. 4/20ths, not so much. So 4 goes into itself once, it goes into 25 times. 1's are in the numerator, so we're done up there. 2 times 5 is 10, and we are left with 1/10. Let's go down here. 4/9, 3/5, already simplified. What about 3 and 9? Not simplified. 3 goes into itself once, goes into 9 3 times. 4 and 5, already simplified. So 4 times 1 is 4, 3 times 5 is 15, and we're done. Over here, 5/12, simplified, simplified, simplified. Dang, nothing we can do there. So let's not look at this one first, and let's start simplifying. All right, so 5 and 2, no. 3 and 12, yes. 3 goes into itself once, it goes into 12 4 times. Now we can look over here. Okay, 4/5 can't be simplified with this, but do you notice that we've got a 5 here and a 5 here? Those can cancel each other out. A 4 here and a 4 here, those can cancel each other out. And now we're left with all of our 1s are in our numerator, so good, we're done. It's a 1 on top. And 1 times 2 times 1 is 2, so all we're left with is 1/2. All right, let's look at these. Okay, now we've got mixed numbers. So the first step is to change it from a mixed number into an improper fraction. How do we do that? Well, let's examine 2 and 2/5 first. If I want to make these all into fifths and I have 2 wholes, let's think a cookie cake because I love baking. So if I have a cookie cake and I wanted to cut it into 5 pieces, 5 pieces make up the whole. I have 2 wholes, so how many pieces do I have here? 10. The simple step that we can use is taking our whole number times our denominator. 2 times 5 is 10, so really 2 is 10/5. And add that to my 2/5 that I have. So really what I have here is 12/5. Now it's like a normal problem. Bring down my multiplication of my 2/5 and go from there. Okay, so 12/5 times 2/5. Nothing can be simplified within those. So 12 times 2 is 24, and 5 times 5 is 25. So my answer is 24/25. Let's do it again. This time I have 2 of them that are like that. So I have 1 whole that can be broken down into thirds. So 3/3 plus 1/3 is really 4/3. And I have another one, but this time I want to break it down into fifths. So I have 5/5 plus 2/5, which is 7/5. Okay, so 4/3 can't be simplified, 7/5, nope. 3 and 7, nope. 4 and 5, nope. All that's left to do is multiply. 7 times 4 is 28, and 3 times 5 is 15. This is improper. We can change it back into a mixed number. So if I look at 28, I know that it's 15/15 plus 13/15. So really it's 1 and 13/15. Down here, 2/3 times 8. How do I change that into a fraction? Easy peasy. Just put it all over 1 because 8 divided by 1 is 8. And so it's a simple fraction. So if I look at this one, 2 and 1 can't be simplified, 3 and 8 can't be simplified. So just multiply straight across and I get 16/3. That can be divided. Okay, this is what I call the waiter problem. The 16 falls over on the side and it becomes a division problem. It's like he plops down. The waiter can only hold 3 plates, so the 16 fall on the ground. Okay, so 16 divided by 3 goes in a total of 5 times. 5 times 3 is 15. We're left with 1. So we have 5 with 1 remainder over 3. 5 and 1/3 is the same as 16 and 16/3. Okay, you try these. I'll be back in just a second to show you the answer. Remember to grab your red pen when you're done so that way we can start grading. Okay, here we go. The first step is to change it into an improper fraction. I know 8 times 9 is 72, so I have 72 ninths plus my 4 ninths, or 76. 1/4 can't be simplified, 76 over 9 can't be simplified, but 76 and 4 can. 4 goes into itself once, it goes into 76 19 times. So I'm left with 19 ninths, and if I divide 19 by 9, I get 2 with 1/9 left over. For E, if you look at this one, it would be 5 times 3, which is 15 thirds, plus the 1/3 is 16 thirds. Take that times 3 over 1, and these can be simplified into 16 over 1, or just 16. Finally, if we look at this one, 1 times 7 is 7 sevenths, so 7 sevenths plus 4 sevenths is 11 sevenths. Bring down your 8 elevenths. Multiply, these can be simplified, so I'm left with 8 sevenths, which is improper, and I'm left with actually 1 1/7. And that's all I've got for you today. I'll see you next time.